The following is an exclusive presentation of WI Garden Media, celebrating 10 years of being the voice of Garden Talk Radio. Coming up on the program today, we're going to discuss tips for the beginner gardener, as well as growing potatoes, as well as we'll answer your garden questions. So the hour is full. Join us.
You are listening to the most informationally packed hour of garden-focused radio in the country and on the internet with your host, husband and wife team Joey and Holly Baird. This is the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
And welcome to another edition of the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. So happy you've chose us to spend a little bit of time with. I'm your host, Joey Baird. Beside me is my wife, co-host, best friend, and gardening partner,
Holly Baird.
This program is for you, about you, to help your garden grow better, to maintain your landscape, grow healthier trees, make your grass look greener, as well as preserving what you grow. Happy you're tuning in, whether you're doing such on one of the multitude of AM and FM frequencies broadcasting our program here in 2026 through our radio app, through our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, where you can also find coupon codes for all the companies you'll hear through the program under the Money tab at the top of the page. Podcast replay or in-studio video replay. Thank you so much for doing such. You want to be part of the program, certainly is welcomed by sending us an email to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Let us know where you're listening from. You can also give us a call, toll-free, coast-to-coast at 1-800-927-SHOW. 1-800-927-7469. If we can't get to you, leave a message and we will call you back. Well, before we get into the program, Holly, it's time for this week's Joke of the Week.
This week's garden joke is brought to you by rescue.com.
And the joke
is, why didn't anyone laugh at the gardener's jokes?
The gardener's jokes, because he was too dry, too
because
soil.
they were too corny.
Corny, like the crop, CRON.
That's the only way to spell corny.
Well.
Anyway, this week's garden joke, again, is brought to you by rescue.com. American-made rescue products keep your family, home, and yard protected from pests such as wasps, hornets, yellow jackets, flies, ants, and more. Learn more at rescue.com. That's rescue.com. So we are going to talk about being a new gardener.
Yeah. Now's the time of year where a lot of anybody that's interested in gardening or has gardened in the past starts getting revved up, excited to see new seeds, where to get seeds, look through their old seeds, buy new stuff in order to get the seeds started, the whole deal, grow lights, everything. But if you're a new gardener, if you're somebody that's going, I've seen this, I've seen friends, I've got family that I want to start growing something, it can be extremely overwhelming. Especially if you just go online and type in your favorite search engine, how to start a garden.
Right.
Where to begin.
Right. So there's some things to keep in mind, especially if you go down that rabbit hole and you start seeing like YouTubers or social media people. It may seem like their gardens are just immaculate and perfect and all of these things. And I think there's something to keep in mind is that these people also had to start somewhere. So they may have 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years of experience. So you have to keep that in mind, that they have a little bit more experience than where you start. And also they may have some help, whether it be with somebody that they hired, or they could also just have help from a spouse, children, whoever. So if it's something that you're doing by yourself, definitely give yourself some grace. Or if you have children that may not necessarily be interested right away, that's okay too. So that's why we highly encourage you to start small.
And this can be simply a couple of containers on a patio, porch, or deck, a little 4x4 raised bed from rootmaker.com, myrootmaker.com, or you take some boards and nail them together, 4x4, that's 16 square feet, or you just dig in the ground in the backyard after you've made sure it's okay through Digger's Hotline and you've tested the soil. To be simple. I know that a lot of times people who are new to gardening, they want to go big because they want to have a lot of produce. And if you've never grown a thing in your life, until you understand how the procedure goes from seed to harvest and understand the problems along the way, it doesn't benefit you to multiply that by 100 times. And instead of growing, 3 tomato plants, you decide to grow 33, and a lot of bad things can happen, or, very quickly if you don't know what you're doing.
Right. So you want to make sure that you start with what you know that you're going to eat, and if that means you start 3 or 4 things.
And people may think that's a silly thing to consider. Oh, well, why wouldn't I just grow what I want to eat?
Well, we've heard stories of people who grow okra and hate okra, but it's because their grandparents grew it.
And that's a great memorial, a great thing to remind.
What are you doing with that okra?
Right, exactly,
right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so start with what you know you're going to enjoy. Maybe ask, whether you search for your growing zone online, what does well in that growing zone, and then perhaps do something that might not necessarily, not saying it wouldn't do well, but maybe a little bit more challenging. Like for us, typically root crops do pretty well, but maybe there's something in your area that does a little bit better. Keep that in mind. You want to be aware of fake plants, seeds, etc. So a lot of times you'll see these, especially once you start Googling, searching for gardening things on your social media, all of a sudden all these ads will pop up. No matter what you search for online, like all of a sudden when you're on social media, these ads will pop up, or just on the regular search engine.
Your garden group you're joining, yeah.
Right. And so then all of a sudden it's like, oh, look at these rainbow roses or something. And a lot of times they're fake.
Order now, 5 left.
Yeah, order now, 5 left, whatever. And those are fake seeds. And you're like, well, should I be super worried about this? And it's like, if it's too good to be true, or it'll say like 45,000 positive reviews, and then you click on the link and there's no link to click.
It's just images that's been embedded into the website.
Right.
If there is not a
800 number,
a phone number associated, or if it's just a random weird email, it's not a good sign. If the biggest seed companies in the country, like jungseed.com, doesn't have this, or other major reputable seed companies where you can pick up the phone and within 40 seconds get a hold of somebody and talk to them, it doesn't exist.
Right. And so that is...
it is a big industry.
It's a big industry.
Big scam.
That's why it's good to make sure that you have a point of contact, or it'll, you go to the about page and it'll be like, blah, 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 seeds has been around since this time, stuff like that. If it's a big box store type website, it could be too good to be true as well.
If you have questions and you're going, I really like this. I like this. I don't know if it's screenshot it, get a screenshot and send it to us at gardentalkradio@gmail.com, and we will know and be able to direct you if that is true or not, and where to purchase it from a reputable seed dealer.
All right, so let's talk about having a plan. This is important because you might think, I'm going to grow avocados. And there's a lot of places you can't grow avocados.
And you're in zone 6 in Chicago, Illinois. That it doesn't work there.
Right. And also it takes, some time. Years. Yeah, years. So have a plan. Think, okay, I'm looking for a yearly seasonal crop, an annual crop. And also, again, what will grow in your area. What is your plan for planting? Are you going to strictly be, a warm season vegetable grower? Are you going to start some cool season crops? What is your plan? If you're like, I need a couple months to research this, then you might be planting in the warmer season. If you're like, I've already done the research, I'm ready to go, then you could definitely start the cool weather stuff.
And it all depends on your location and the days to your last average frost. It may be 10 weeks before your last average frost date, or you may be in an area where you have a very minimal chance of frost a lot of portions of the year. So it all depends on when to start the seeds or buy the seeds. And that's another point. You don't have to go and start all of the seeds. If you're going to grow 8 different varieties of vegetables and 50 plants, you don't have to start them all. If you feel more comfortable buying the plants that are already established, that's okay.
And this can apply to flowers too. There are certain flowers I've been growing now the last couple seasons. I've been growing more flowers on our porch, and some of them are really hard to start, and you need to kind of have a whole plan. And not that I couldn't do it, it's just that I And as much as I enjoy starting my own seeds,
there's other things in life.
There's other things in life. There's certain things that I might just, I'm better off going to my local garden center and picking up a few starts, because it's not like, again, I'm growing in like little containers on my porch. I'm not trying to grow a whole.
Well, your time is valuable.
Yeah, that too.
How much time versus, is it going to be, I'm going to fiddle with this for 8 hours over the course of the next 2 months and fight with this and not be guaranteed success, or I can go in 2 months and go to the garden center, spend $12 and have 14 beautiful plants, and the hassle and the headache and the stress is over, and I just put it in the ground and enjoy it.
And it is also like, it's very nice going to the garden center to look at all the plants. I look at plants I'm not even going to buy, and it's nice to just walk around.
It's like a pet store.
It is like a pet store.
Oh.
When I go to the pet store, I look
pet
at
the little
fish.
flower.
I don't pet the flowers. But when I go to the pet store, I look at all the fish. There's like glow-in-the-dark fish and stuff, and I think it's cool. Am I going to get a fish? No. I have a cat.
Glow-in-the-dark fish. Is that because they're next to the nuclear plant?
Probably.
Yeah, okay. That's a Simpson reference.
Yes.
Okay.
So anyway, accept that your plants will die. It makes you think of that from, was it Shrek, Lord Farquhar? Some of you may die. Some are going to die, and that happens. Especially, it's not like you should plan on it. I mean, not that you want your plants to die, but it does happen, especially if you're new to this. Like, I bought some petunia plugs, and I didn't really quite understand how to start them, and they did not do well. And I decided I'm not going to do that again. I'll just buy the petunias that are started. But sometimes there's a learning curve. But even for stuff that we've grown for decades, like tomatoes, sometimes they just don't do well.
And if you're going to start seeds on your own, if you want to start more than what you intend to plant, if you're going to plant 6 tomatoes and that's the goal, I'm going to have 6 tomatoes, go ahead and start 12. There's nothing wrong. You can either give them away or guaranteed out of that 12, 8's going to survive. You're going to have some casualties in there. It's just the life of a gardener. And you want to think about, we talked about what you're going to eat, and you don't have to grow enough to can or freeze or preserve. It's okay to just grow enough to have a couple of additions to your meal throughout the week. Nothing wrong with that.
Right. And if you don't grow enough for whatever that you feel, you can always go to the farmer's market, and now this will give you an opportunity to talk to the farmers. Oh, I grew some of these carrots just like this, and I just started gardening this year. Or,
hey, what is that? You can grow that here?
Yeah.
There you go.
That can give you ideas as well.
Have a long-term goal. If you're going to stay where you're at for, if this is your forever home, or you have no intentions, or you don't see foreseeable moving opportunities, you can look at the possibility based on where you're at and what your city municipality allows. But perennials, nut trees, or fruit trees, raspberry, blueberry, blackberry bushes, rhubarb, or asparagus, these things that can go in the ground and live for decades and have very little to no work on your end. Jerusalem artichoke's another one that will last for a long time. So think about, okay, I'm going to be here. This is worked out, or it's working out. I can take this portion of the yard and kind of turn into a perennial area where I just maintain some of the mulch and everything and let everything do its own thing and just go in and harvest. Strawberries, another one, lasts 5 to 7 years. So kind of keep that in mind of what is your long-term goal. And if you don't have a long-term goal, that's okay too. Just something to keep in mind for those of you who are going to be there for a long time or want to invest a little more input to your landscape.
Absolutely. So, yeah. So these are some good tips for beginner gardeners. And of course, if you have any questions,
just a small amount of, there's a lot to go there. But if you got any questions, gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Well, hang out with us. When we return, we are going to discuss growing potatoes. You're tuned in to the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
Have a garden question? Give Joey and Holly a call now or anytime 24/7. Just dial 1-800-927-SHOW. If you can't get through, leave a message and they will call you back. Call now, 1-800-927-SHOW.
Azure Standard is America's premier family-owned online store for organic foods and healthy products for your home and garden. They deliver directly to families and businesses through more than 3,500 drop points across all 50 states, making it easy to get everything you need in one simple pickup. As a natural health food distributor, Azure brings bulk and specialty items to communities nationwide. They offer more than 12,000 products that meet their clean ingredient standards, high quality, non-GMO, organic, and naturally sourced. You'll find everything from groceries, health and beauty items, and household essentials to nutritional supplements, animal care, hobby supplies, and even gardening products. Simply put, Azure Standard has something for just about every part of daily living. Visit azurestandard.com and use promo code JoeyandHolly15 at checkout to get 15% off your first order of $100 or more when you open a new account and ship to the drop location of your choice. Visit azurestandard.com. That's AZURE standard.com. Get in your garden with Diggs. From gardening gloves to accessories, storage, organization, and more, Diggs products combines form and function with a splash of fashion and are ideal for women who possess a passion for plants and enjoy harnessing the beauty of nature. Steeped in color and pattern, Diggs gloves are inspired by nature and are designed to protect your most valuable assets, your hands. Get your Diggs on at diggsgardening.com, the Home Depot, Amazon, and search for it by name, DIGZ, diggsgardening.com.
Check out ivorganics.com. It's America's leading garden product YouTube channel. IV Organic products are innovative, organic, effective, and proudly USA made to help you achieve your best growing season. Use coupon code RADIO10 at checkout and save 10% on your entire order at ivorganics.com. That coupon code again is RADIO10 to save 10% on your order at ivorganics.com.
Are you bugged by bugs? You need naturally green products, No More Bugs, environmentally friendly. Made in the USA, No More Bugs is a cedar blend that repels and eliminates mosquitoes, no-see-ums, ticks, fleas, roaches, ants, and more. No More Bugs is safe for you, your pets, and plants. Available online at nomorebugs.net, Amazon, Walmart.com, and the Home Shopping Network.
MyRootmaker.com has the tools to start your plants off right and keep them growing through harvest. From their seed starting trays with an innovative design that air prunes the roots to their large variety of grow bags, 1 to 60 gallons. Get the harvest you've never seen before. Visit MyRootmaker.com and use coupon code RADIO26 to save 10% off your order at MyRootmaker.com. Soil Diva Liquid Microbe Stimulant Spray improves the health of your plants you work hard to grow, stimulates the natural enzymes, and increases beneficial soil bacteria. Go to soildiva.net. Use coupon code RADIO15 to get 15% off your order at soildiva.net. Welcome back to the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. Happy you chose us to be part of your day just for a little bit. Growing potatoes. We're going to talk about that, go through some of the tips and techniques in order to have a successful potato crop. And there's more to potato growing than just throwing them in the ground and walking away.
Absolutely. But it is kind of that simple, but not. So they're not super hard to grow.
There's information that one needs to know in order to increase their odds of success.
So now there are because of selective breeding, there's over 5,000 different varieties of potatoes, but there's 7 main types. So this can be categorized by texture and uses. So there's russets, reds, yellows, whites, blues / purples, fingerlings, and petites, which are also known as new potatoes. So these all come with different characteristics. So some, like the russets, are usually typically good for baking, and then other ones are good for boiling, mashing, roasting. Like, again, the russets are good for baking, but then reds are good for boiling, salads, and then I think russets is good for potato salads, or no, the yellows.
And this is true, because if you try to take a potato that's not really designed for this and try to fry it, it falls apart and turns to mush. Apart. Yes, absolutely.
Or even like if you make a potato salad with something like a fingerling. Fingerlings are a little bit less starchy in my experience, so they're going to fall apart. In the potato salad, you want a potato that's going to hold up to that cooking and mixing.
And got that chew and that texture, and that with the mayonnaise and the mustard and all that stuff, yeah.
And even like making the they call them like smashed potatoes.
Right.
The fingerlings are good for that because they have that less starchy quality. And then the new potatoes, they kind of hold up when you cook them for a long time, like in a slow cooker. So yeah.
So
something to
you
keep in mind.
select the potato you want for the purpose that you intend to utilize it for. There's 3 categories of growing potatoes in the grow season here. There's early potatoes, that's early season. Early season potatoes take 60 to 90 days, 10 to 12 weeks. Second, earlies or mid-season, those take 80 to 110 days. And your main crop, or what's considered late season potatoes, those are 110 to 130 plus days. Those are the whole summer. What we have done in our Zone 6 garden in the past is we will harvest garlic in July, last week in August, early portions of July, and that open up a vacancy, and we'll throw some potatoes in the ground. That is that early season.
Like the 70 to 90.
Yeah, the 60 to 90 day,
yeah.
and harvest it right before frost, and we don't get the massive harvest that you would early, but you get a harvest, and it's worth utilizing those potatoes. And potatoes, and we get this question a lot, and you may be thinking, well, I've got potatoes that sprout in the house that I bought from the grocery store. Can I use that? Yes, you can. Again, you just want to try to know, dig around on the label and see if you can kind of figure out what the variety is, and then do a search to go, okay, where does this fall in? Is this 60 to 90, 80 to 110, or 110 plus?
I don't know what potatoes we buy. I mean, I know I buy a lot of red potatoes, but it seems like
within a week.
They're sprouting.
Now, you can eat a sprouted potato. You want to keep it in a darker area just after you buy it, whether you're planting it or you're going to eat it, because sunlight exposed to skin of potato has a slight green tint, which can be irritable to certain sensitive stomachs, and is considered poisonous in some. It's considered poisonous. You're not supposed to eat potatoes that have green skins, but you can peel that skin off deep enough until you get to the actual meat of the potato and utilize the potato for that.
Right. And so the reason typically why I buy the red potatoes is, 1, our local convenience store has a really good price on them. And then 2, when we are camping, we do a lot of pan cooking of the red potatoes, and they hold up well for that.
When to plant your potatoes. Now, this is based on your frost date, your area. You want to plant your potatoes 2 to 4 weeks before your last average frost date. You can find that by going to your favorite search engine and typing in last average frost date, insert your zip code, and it will tell you. Once the soil is cool, it can be worked and is cool but not soggy or wet. And when the soil temperature at root zone, where the potato is going to sit and start growing, is at least 50 degrees Fahrenheit. You can tell the temperature. You take a shovel or a trowel and dig down 3 to 5 inches and use a digital meat thermometer. That'll give you the temperature. And you don't want to go any colder, due to the fact that if it gets, you got a couple of days and the soil's warm and it's 50 degrees, you want to look at your long range forecast. Is the temperature minimum going to stay above 50 degrees Fahrenheit for the prolonged future? Because that's going to keep the soil warm and allow these potatoes to grow at root zone. You want to test that out. On the other side, if you're in an area where it gets super warm during the summer and your soil exceeds 85 degrees Fahrenheit, which is warm to get soil that hot, that's like desert temperature, your potatoes are going to shut down. Now, if you plant your potatoes too soon and they begin to sprout, and the frost kills the tops, that's not necessarily detrimental. The tops will grow back, but it will set your potatoes back some. Now, how do we plant our potatoes? Some people, it's traditional trench and hill method. You dig a trench, an inch or 2 below soil, plant your potatoes, and then you hill them up. The hilling prevents the soil from the sunlight from hitting the potato.
Right.
And changing to that green color.
You don't have to hill them up.
No.
You can just plant them deep.
Yes.
And so what you want to do is, when you are ready to prepare the potatoes or plant the potatoes,
yes,
you want to, if you're using sprouted potatoes from the store, if it's a larger potato, you want to cut it up. If there's like multiple sprouts, you might want to cut the potato in half. You just want to make sure, or maybe even in quarters, you just want to make sure that whatever you're planting is about the size of a chicken egg.
Yes.
A large chicken egg. And then you go ahead and you can plant them. You want to let them kind of cure. So you would want to do the night before, so that way the exposed part gets like the skin on it.
Scab.
There you go. So that is what you want to do when you go ahead and are ready to plant the potatoes. If you buy seed potatoes, they are good to go. They will, even if they don't have sprouts, they will grow. That's their purpose, is to grow as seed potatoes. So you want to make sure you inspect any potatoes you are going to grow, especially for any sort of rot, because if they're rotting, that means that they're rotting. They're going to rot in the ground.
Yeah,
right.
So you're going to have compost.
You might want to cut out a rotting part.
You can also rub powdered sulfur or dip them in raw honey also on the scab if you're going to plant them like today, and you don't want to wait that couple of hours or overnight to begin that scabbing process. And all that scabbing process in the sulfur and the honey, it's to prevent worms and stuff from potentially getting in there and eating out that potato. Now, you talked about dividing the potato up if it's large. If you don't want to divide the potato up, you can throw it in the ground and plant it as is. If you want to divide it up, you're gonna get a few more potatoes chunks for that planting area. Universities have done studies, and either way produces the same amount of potatoes. The only advantage to the cutting of the potato is you get more potatoes.
Plants, yeah.
You get more potato plants, right?
And who doesn't want more potatoes? I certainly like more potatoes. So yeah, you want to cure
Potato
them.
monster.
Potato monster. And then while they're curing, you want to keep them in a cool, dark place. While you're waiting for to plant them.
Yeah.
Keep them in a cool, dark place. And then you also, like we talked about the scab, you want to make sure, I don't know if we talked about this, but full sun. You want to look for full sun.
When planting them, yep.
And then also we talked about the different lengths of time and how long it might take up to use that spot. So it is, for the most part, kind of an all summer thing. So keep that in mind as well.
What you want your soil to be is a good, loose, well-draining, slightly acidic, but doesn't hurt the overall production of the plant. Even if you're at a 7, you're okay. With plenty of compost or well-rotted manure, not killer compost. Check out past episodes to learn about that, or do a search on that. Plus an all-balanced fertilizer, 5-10-10, a 5-5-5, something NPK, something in that realm. Avoid fresh manure.
Keep them watered.
Keep them watered. Avoid fresh manure, as that will burn the plants. So, again, you can heal them, or what we've always done is we plant them about 6 inches deep, especially in a container or a grow bag. Cover them, walk away. We mulch them. You can use pine straw, chemical-free, seed-free grass clippings. If you have leaves left over, straw, oat straw, barley straw, wheat straw, all is a good mulch in order to hold the moisture in and suppress some of the weeds. It's not a guarantee, but it will help.
What's straw?
Wheat straw.
Oh.
I grew up on a wheat farm, so it's just
called it straw?
Yeah, it's just straw.
Oh, okay.
But there's so many other variations of straw. Straw is the stalk of the crop that is being grown. Hay is the grass that is being grown for the consumption, for animal consumption. So when to harvest these potatoes? Typically a minimum of 10 weeks. I mean, it's based on early, mid, or long season potatoes, but typically 10 weeks you're going to see the potato grow up and begin to start to die back. Once that potato plant begins to die back, and that's the importance of knowing what type of potato you have, whether you've bought it for the purpose of a seed potato or a store-bought one that is sprouting, so you know when is that duration of, okay, it takes 90 days, we're at 85, the plant's starting to die back, we're good to go. Once the plant starts dying back, it's okay to go ahead and dig it up. Leaving it in the ground until the plant completely dies back is a gamble, because it can rain, it can start rotting, insects can get a hold of it, weeds can grow up and you can forget where they're at, and then they resprout next year. A whole lot of things going on there, and you want to use a garden fork. A garden fork is a hard tine.
It's a hard tine, usually 4, maybe 5 prongs. It's about the same.
Tines, I think is what
tines.
Yeah.
It's about the same size as like a garden shovel. It's not super wide or super huge.
Yeah, it's not a hay fork.
It's got thick tines.
Yeah.
And so this helps you dig up your potatoes because you're less likely to stab them, cut them in half. If you can use a garden shovel, that's not a problem, but you might stab a couple potatoes. It's less likely with the garden fork. And harvesting is so fun. It's like a little under the ground garden treasure hunt because you don't know how many potatoes you're
Can be
gonna
good
get.
or disappointing.
Right. And so you just go ahead, you take your fork, you loosen them up, and you just start digging them out.
Some plants will put on seed pods. These are true seed potatoes. In that a little tomato looking like thing that's hanging from it, it is poisonous. Don't eat it. Some people actually take and try to grow real actual potatoes from that. And then some potatoes will flower, and that's also an indication where the potato has reached about the mature state that is going to grow. To store your potatoes, you want to cure them first, keeping them cool between 45 and 50 degrees in a dark place, slightly humid. Like, certain areas are better than this, like a basement or a cellar. People don't have cellars that much. In a breathable container, paper bag or basket, brushing off the dirt but not washing them, and keeping them away from onions to preserve them from sprouting and spoiling, and they'll keep for months. So there you go. Just a little bit. If you want to find more out about growing potatoes, you can go to our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, and click on the search bar up the top and type in growing potatoes, and we've got a lot of videos on that. If you want to keep the mud outside instead of inside your house, we've got a product for you that's made in the USA.
This will benefit you after you dig potatoes up. So Scrusher, the original boot and shoe cleaner, it is basically a brush attached to a base to clean your shoes and boots that you would keep maybe outside your front door, outside a shed, whatever it may be. And Scrusher has some great different models. They have the deluxe, they have the regular model, and then they have the big boot model. And they even have things where you can get a personalized base so that maybe
your initials or a deer or a tomato,
name, something like that. Whatever kind of makes sense for.
And these can be fastened to a deck, patio, porch, or step. You can mount it in whatever you want, but keep it from moving around.
Right. They have all sorts of models out there for you. It's just a shoe brush station that it is a weather-resistant steel frame. It's black UV powder coated so that it's good for year-round use. And you just basically put your shoe in there. You don't have to take it off. Put your shoe in there quick, in and out. It'll brush all that dirt, mud, slush for any type of shoe. And it's outdoor boot cleaner design. You can find more information and all their models at scrusher.com. That's SCRUSHER.com. And you can use the code NOMOREDIRT5 to get 5% off and free shipping at checkout.
Hang out with us. It's time for your garden questions and our garden answers. You're tuned in to the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
Got a question for Joey and Holly? Send it via email anytime to gardentalkradio@gmail.com.
We are in the dead of winter, but it's not too early to read up on the best products to control beetles and grubs in your yard and garden.
You're right, Joey. Before we know it, the temperature will rise to 55 Fahrenheit plus, and those grubs will become active again in your lawns and gardens. Make sure you use safe, high-performing products like Grub Gone and Beetle Gone so you, your kids, and pets can safely enjoy your yard without sharing it with beetles and grubs.
Grub Gone can be applied to the turf to control grubs, reducing turf damage and lessens the impact that beetles have on your yard in the summer. Easy to use. Apply with any commercial spreader and irrigate into the soil. Biological that specifically targets grubs without harming soil beneficials like earthworms.
And use Beetle Gone in your garden soil to control grubs, or later in the summer to control beetle invaders without harming bees, ladybugs, insects, butterflies, etc. These are the only non-chemical products that work. Find out more at BeetleGone.com. Transform your exterior wood surfaces with Rubio Monocoat's new DuraGrit. DuraGrit delivers rugged protection and rich color for decks, siding, pergolas, planter boxes, and all outside wood surfaces. Say goodbye to multiple coats thanks to DuraGrit's incredible patented one-layer technology. Enjoy a vibrant, durable color that won't peel or flake even in the harshest conditions. Rubio Monocoat DuraGrit is tomorrow's UV protection for exterior wood. For every order, Rubio Monocoat USA will plant a tree at a U.S. planting site. Get 10% off DuraGrit when using code JOEY at checkout. Learn more at RubioMonocoatUSA.com.
Say goodbye to weeds. Easily remove them, roots and all, with the unique design of the Cobra-Head Hand Cultivator, recognized as the world's leading hand weeding tool. Simple design, lightweight, made from forged tempered steel for easy extraction of weeds. Plant seeds, rose, and more. Visit cobrahead.com and use coupon code SOIL for 10% off your order at cobrahead.com. Coupon code valid 1 per customer.
Make watering easy. DripWorks provides quality drip irrigation supplies and equipment to gardeners just like you for all your growing needs across the U.S. and Canada. Purchase online at dripworks.com.
Get higher yields with durable green bed raised garden bed kits designed to be drainable, breathable, pest resistant, and long-lasting. DurableGreenBed.com. Abundance guaranteed. Jung Seed Company is a family-owned and operated gardening company since 1907 with the largest selection of seeds and plants online. Use coupon code 15TG26 to save 15% off your order at jungseed.com. That's JUNGSEED.com. Welcome back to the Garden with Joy and Holly radio show. Happy you have joined us. Want to find out more information about those companies you've heard and all the coupon code availability? Visit our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, and click on the Money tab at the top of the page.
Have you ever heard of a scrubby, Joey?
Yes, I have.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's a natural soap with a scrubber inside that fills the entire size of the bar. And it's really nice and convenient because it can help get rid of greasy, oily paint, whatever you have, whether it be on your hands or paintbrushes. And it is made with...
Gets in all the nooks and crannies of your hands. Yeah.
Yep. And it's made with a natural citrus. So that way it doesn't... there's no like harsh chemicals or anything like that. So it's naturally powered soap with citrus oils to help fight those tough residues. And also it's even good for if you think like cooks, because maybe they use a lot of garlic or work with fish and they don't want that into their skin or hands going home. So yeah, that's a good use for that as well. So your scrubby, you can go to scrubbysoap.com, and you're going to get 10% off your orders by using the code SOAP at checkout. That's scrubbysoap.com.
Time for your garden questions, our garden answers. Send them on over to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com, or jam your fingers in your phone and dial us up at toll-free 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Oh, okay.
So we got a question.
We got a lot of questions here. Yeah.
I would like to grow rutabagas in the spring. I got seed. I would like to have a good harvest. Is this the best time to grow them?
We have tried growing rutabaga in the spring in Zone 6 garden about 6 years in a row. And we had one really good harvest.
I remember that.
And that was it. We've failed every year. We have found to grow them in the fall that the rutabagas take 90 days, turnips take 60, and you start them for us, and your area is going to vary, but you want to do your research. We start ours a little after early portions of August. And then you got September, October, November. As the days get shorter and the days get cooler, it's considered a cool weather crop. It thrives. It likes that coldness, that coolness. In the spring, you're fighting it because the days are getting longer. They're getting warmer. You're trying to grow something that does not like those conditions, and you're expecting something to happen. Now, there are people that are able to do that, and they start them way, way early. But for certain portions of the country, when you need to start them, you've got several inches of snow and ice on the ground, and it's just not practical, and you can't do it. You got to do it in the fall. So hope that helps.
So soil from my containers, it can get costly. Can I reuse it from last year? You absolutely can. You want to...
With a couple of asterisks on this. Yeah.
If I wanted to, if it was soil that I bought last year and it was brand new, what I would do is I would add some fertilizer. Mm-hmm. A slow release fertilizer, granule fertilizer. Also,
you grew flowers, so that would be a little different than a heavy feeder like tomatoes or peppers.
Right.
So if you're growing, let's say you're in a 20-gallon grow bag from myrootmaker.com, and you grew a tomato plant in that, or you grew potatoes in that last year, you can still utilize at least half of that soil. Take top half out, or even a third out of the top, and then top it off with new compost or new potting soil, new mix, and then utilize what you've removed for the base of another grow bag or throw it in your raised bed gardens. The reason being there is some exhaustion that soil has, but it's not necessary to dump it all out. Now, the asterisk on this is if you're growing in a 1, 3, 5 gallon, maybe 10 gallon grow bag where there's not a whole lot of soil to begin with, it is good to dump that out and start over. But if you're in that 20, 30, 45, 60 gallon or pop-up raised bed, just remove some of that soil if you need to in order to add more. If you're in a raised bed, pop-up raised bed, you probably won't need to add in. Probably won't have to need to remove any. You can just top it off.
Right. Now, you can use your best discretion because I'm replacing my soil this year for my flowers.
Altogether.
Yeah. Because I bought some stuff from the garden center.
Questionable stuff on sale.
And you know what? I listened to Joey.
I know.
I was like, I called him and I was like, should I get this stuff? It was like 3 for $12 or some deal like that. And then we planted
Not seeing it. It was
in bags.
Yeah, it was in bags. Yeah. And it was some kind of topsoil mix.
Right.
And it had rocks in it.
Yeah, it had rocks in it. And my flowers did not do well. Some did okay. Sunflowers always do well. So if you grow sunflowers, you're usually pretty good.
So you want good quality compost or potting soil. If you're going to do it and you're going to invest the time in the raised beds, your flowers, invest. Splurge a little bit. Buy good quality because that good quality will allow you it'll last a little bit longer, a couple of years, versus what we'll have to do is dig out and restart completely over.
I mean, some of those we can just dump out.
Yeah. So but that you can certainly save money by doing this, but be aware of how much and how large the container is. A hanging basket, totally dump it out, start over. Smaller the amount of soil, you've used it up. Get new soil.
All right, next question.
Yep.
I'm wanting to try using grow bags this year for potatoes and perhaps tomatoes and beets. What size bag would be best for this, and how do I know if it's a quality product?
Okay, so I'm going to push a company that has sponsored us for this is their ninth year that has sponsored us, plus 2 years before that when we just had a podcast on the kitchen table. MyRootmaker.com. They have grow bags, seed starting trays. You hear the advertisement through on the commercial breaks. MyRootmaker.com. Use coupon code Radio26 to save 10% off your order. They have grow bags. They have grow bags that have a white coating on it that helps repel the heat. Some of these grow bags are black and they just absorb the heat, and it's like 500 degrees soil, exaggerating, but it's extremely hot and these roots don't like that. So this white coating, and it's more pleasing if you're going to set it next to a house or something. They've got some tan, they've got gray, they've got some other colors. 1 to 60 gallons grow bags. Now, for your potatoes, I would go no less than 15 gallons, and I would put 2 large potatoes in that or 3 small potatoes in that. For the tomato plant, a 10-gallon grow bag. That's it. 1 tomato for the 10-gallon grow bag. And for the beets, a 10-gallon grow bag, you could get 4, maybe 5 beets in a 10-gallon grow bag, but the larger grow bags you go, like a 20-gallon, you could get 7 or 8 beets in. So keep that in mind when it comes to your grow bags and the size. Just because it looks like you can get more, remember what the end result is going to be, because you're going to crowd the plant, and then you're not going to have any plant at all if you crowd the plant and it chokes them out. And with the beets, be sure you thin them out because they're cluster seeds. Yeah. After they sprout, you're going to have to thin them down to 1, just the way the seed nature has produced it.
There's basically a bunch of seeds in each. Mm-hmm. What looks like 1 seed to you, there's just a cluster of seeds, and that's how it goes. Hang
out with us when we return. More of your garden questions and garden answers. You're tuned in to the Garden with Joy and Holly radio show.
Have a garden question? Give Joey and Holly a call now or anytime 24/7. Just dial 1-800-927-SHOW. If you can't get through, leave a message and they will call you back. Call now 1-800-927-SHOW.
Hello, gardeners! It's Ann from Neptune's Harvest Organic Fertilizers in Gloucester, Mass. If you're planting flowers, vegetables, shrubs, or just trying to keep your lawn healthy and green, then you should know about Neptune's Harvest. Neptune's Harvest fertilizers come from the mineral-rich North Atlantic Ocean, which contains all the nutrients plants and soil need. Flower growers, get your sunglasses out. You'll want to use them when you're looking at how bright those colors are. Vegetable growers? With Neptune's Harvest, you can achieve the amazing results you deserve for all your efforts. You'll have the most abundant, sweet-tasting supply of organically grown produce, and there's nothing like the taste of a fresh garden tomato you grew yourself. Neptune's Harvest works so great, whether you know what you're doing or not, you'll look good, and you'll feel good, because you're doing the right thing for the environment and your health. Try Neptune's Harvest products from the ocean to set your plants in motion. Available at your local garden center, and to learn more, go to neptunesharvest.com.
Pomona's Universal Pectin is a high-quality pectin that gels reliably with low amounts of any sweetener. If you're trying to reduce the amount of sugar in your diet, you'll love Pomona's Universal Pectin. Now you can make healthy homemade jams and jellies sweetened to your taste. You can use sugar or honey to sweeten. Pomona's Universal Pectin keeps indefinitely when stored in an airtight container. Easy to use, versatile, and comes with directions and recipes in every box. Find out more and where to buy at pomonapectin.com. Also available at natural food stores and online.
Save your back. Easily and quickly remove trees and shrubs from your property with the Weed Wrench. Find it at weed-wrench.com. Made in the USA. Use coupon code JOEY to save $10 off your Weed Wrench at weed-wrench.com.
Wind River Chimes will always be the inspiring harmony. With a large selection and customization options, you will find the sound that soothes you. Visit windriverchimes.com to shop and find out more.
Welcome back to the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. Time for more of your garden questions and garden answers. GardenTalkRadio@gmail.com. Toll free, 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469.
Can I divide my peonies in the spring? Yes, you can split the peonies in the spring, especially when new red shoots are 6 to 8 inches tall. But ideally, fall is the best time for them because you have less chance of bloom lost or plant loss.
Right.
Yeah.
If you divide them in the spring, and you have to divide them, you feel that's necessary, it's going to cause a potential in flower gap. You're going to lose basically you're going to lose time, and you may not get flowers that year or this spring, this summer, that type of thing. So keep that in mind when it comes to dividing. Fall is the best time to do it. If you can avoid doing it in the spring, wait until the fall and get on that. Put that on the to-do list. All right, what else we've got here? If I'm using gravel between my raised beds this year, what should I put under it? Cardboard, landscape cloth? Doesn't work in my garden. Weeds just take over. What can I do?
If you're just putting gravel down, you could put cardboard, you could put landscape cloth. I don't know if I would use landscape cloth underneath gravel.
It's going to be the best option.
Yeah, I guess
because cardboard is going to break down. A black, heavy-duty landscape fabric you can use, unless you're going to use a weed killer in the rocks with like Nat Green products, no more weeds. It's an organic weed killer. You're going to have weeds. So a thick, heavy landscape fabric with the rocks on top of it. Now, also keep in mind, if you're building a raised bed right now, you want to put that landscape fabric underneath part of that raised bed on both sides. Otherwise, if you're just going to butt it up against that raised bed, you're going to create a crack there, and there's going to be weeds that are going to come up. So that's something to keep in mind as well.
Especially, I don't know, weeds just seem to be extra aggressive these days. So, yeah, definitely if you are starting the raised bed process, tuck that landscape fabric underneath the raised bed so that it helps prevent the weeds from poking through. Yeah.
So, you can use whatever you want, but the weeds are going to be there unless you use something heavy, aggressive, and you don't want to chemically treat around your raised beds for that type of thing. That could toxify the soil. All right. Is it too late to plant onions in Zone 8, Salem, Oregon? Well, that's coming from KSLM 104.3 and FM 1220 up there. We appreciate your question. It's not too late for you to plant your onions in that area, especially for the green onions, but for large bulbing onions, you should plant as soon as the soil is workable. In late winter, February, March, focusing on long day onions. You have to look for your specific variety, but that will be the time you can still get them in the ground for your big summer bulbing onions. You can plant the onion sets. You can people will start them from seed, but at this point you would want to go to your local nursery.
Get the sets.
The sets, which is the live plants.
Kind of like a bundle of pencils.
Bundle of pencils, or they're in grow trays or seed cells.
Yeah.
You want to avoid the little onion bulbs because that in the net.
I think they call those starts. Maybe those are the sets. Those would be the sets. The ones in the mesh thing would be the sets, and then the starts are the live plants. But yeah, what you want to do is you want to avoid the ones in the mesh packaging, because onions are biannuals. So if they harvested those last year, the likeliness of you having an onion plant is not very high. You're going to get a nice flower, an onion flower, but you won't get a good growing onion crop.
Right. The onion sets are the little bulblets, and the onion starts are the live plants.
That was right.
And you're going to get onions if you plant the onion set. But like you said, it's going to put a lot more energy in the top growth seed production. You're going to have a lot of flowers.
It's a pretty flower. It's a very pretty
Well, yeah,
flower.
but you don't have any bulb development.
I'm just saying, maybe you want to grow onion flowers. You could go get those sets.
And whether you're in Salem, Oregon, or Boston, Massachusetts, or St. Louis, Missouri, know what area you're at for the specific type of onion. As we spoke about on this program, there's long day, short day, and neutral day, and that's all based on your geographical area, the amount of sunlight that's occurring during the growing time for those onions in your area. For the north, it's a long day. For the south, it's short day. In the central portions of the United States, it is neutral or midday onions. All right, let's see if we can get time for one more. What type of soil do you use in starting seeds in seed trays?
We typically use a seed starting mix, or in the past we have used compost. You can use either or. The rest of the question is perhaps 3/4 potting soil at the bottom and 1/4 seed starting mix at top. That works too. That would work as well. There's nothing wrong with that either.
It's more of a marketing thing. Seed starting mix, potting soil. Yet there is some variations to the formulation in those, but either or all of the above is applicable. If you're going to, we always look for the store brand of potting soil or seed starting mix. And for us in our nursery, it is over in the succulent area or the house plants. And I think it used to be a 2 cubic foot bag, and now it's 1 cubic foot bag for about the same price as the 2 cubic foot.
Just like everything else.
It used to be 11 for 2 cubic foot, and now it's like 9 for 1, and they don't have the 2 anymore. But it has a moisture retention mechanism in it that will help hold the moisture so the seeds don't dry out as quickly. Because if you buy the name brand stuff, you're going to pay 4 or 5 times in some instances for a fraction of the size of the store brand, and the store brand is just as good as the name brand stuff. So do your finance figuring and figure out, is it worth to go the name brand? What are you paying for there versus the store brand? And is the store brand quality enough for your seed starts? So, well, that will just about do it. We appreciate your time and joining us on the program. Tune into the program next week where we will be discussing vegetables definitely define themselves and do better when they are grown with the right company. We're going to talk about proper, correct companion planting. There's a lot of myths online about companion planting. We're going to break all that down and explain that why and how certain plants work better with others, as well as spring flower planting guide. And we will have a fun segment we call Chatter Spot, where Holly and I will ask very unique, common, fun questions, non-political and non-religious. That is fun life questions, as well as we'll answer your garden questions. So until next week, for
Holly Baird,
I'm Joy Baird, and we will see you in the garden.